What's happening, Magnesites? I pretty much got an urgent message from a long-time Magnesita. She told me that she wrote me before, but I never answered. But says she has an even bigger problem now, and she needs my help. She don't want to jump out the damn window. The letter she wrote was this long, and it was long. It was bigger than the Dark Mjolnir. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paraphrase real fast what she asked help on, and I'm going to give you my answer. So, I've descended from the throne of thought to answer your question. Please, stay calm. I'm here to help. Don't worry. Don't jump out no damn window, girl. It's going to be all right. Rome's here. Magnus is here, okay? It's all going to be fine, all right? Now, what she did was she was in a relationship with a man. You know, she was working hard on the relationship. He was very busy. Sounded like he was goal-oriented, really focusing on his business while she was trying to focus on the relationship. One thing I'm going to interject and immediately cut into the part of this story. I've noticed that a lot of men that are around my age, either late 20s or mid to late 30s, sometimes even early 40s, a lot of times they become very focused on planning a future, building a future for themselves. A lot of times women at this time are focused on finding a husband. Okay, so a lot of times we're at odds. We can love each other the same, but we're at odds. We have different goals. And sometimes to each other, we both seem like we don't care as much. Okay? You're going to understand that in a second. So while he was focused on his business, he's an engineer, she was focused on the relationship. She even moved closer to him to make it work. But she was feeling undesired, uncherished, unloved because he was loving his business. Well, she ended up starting to have conversations with his business partner. Of course, you know the cliche story. He makes her feel all happy and loved and beautiful and sexy and yada yada yada. So, when they just couldn't hold back no more, they made that big mistake, okay? Now, the business partner said, hey, look, I feel guilty about what I did. She said, I feel guilty about what I did also, okay? So, we can't do this no more. Fine. But he said, look, the only way we could do something, and I'd be willing to see where it would go, is if you did break up with him. If you're truly not happy, you break up with him. So she broke it off. Then they got together. Then guess who figured it all out? He hacked her Skype. He knew what was up. The business partner lost his job, and he didn't want nothing to do with her. He told both sides of the family what she did. So now she's like, goddamn, for this one mistake, I am paying and paying and paying and paying and paying. One thing I want to know as part of my answer to your solution is, to your problem, is did you ever truly express yourself to this man that he was going to lose you if you didn't get the attention or the affection you needed or something like that? Or was it kind of little things you might have dropped once in a while over the course of the relationship? Because sometimes very focused men, they don't get it. They really don't. A lot of times men just don't get the subtle small hints. Sometimes you have to stop him, slap him, grab his collar and say, look, you are going to lose me if we don't start doing this. I'm feeling unloved. I'm feeling this way. Did you ever sit him down and say, babe, I need this, I need that? Is there anything you need? Because like I said, he was so focused. But you see how hurt he is. You told me in that email that he's just destroyed. So you know that he loved you to death. But there was a particular thing that you wanted from him that you just didn't get. So you sought it from somebody else. Now, as you know here, I always talk about the law of attraction. You were feeling bad that whole time, weren't you? And feeling bad, look what you created. All of a sudden now this other man ain't got his job, both sides of the families is looking at you sideways, and your boyfriend don't want you. Do you see that? You cannot try to get out of bad situations by masking it with the drug of another person, or even a drug or whatever, when you know that the consequences are bad. Some people, they get clouded. They get very, very clouded minds, and they'll make a decision that makes them feel good temporarily. And right there, it feels so great and so right. And you just had to do it. And it was destiny. And it was all this poetry and melodrama, but it really wasn't shit. That's the problem with rebounds. You get out of a relationship, you don't want to be alone, you feel sad, and he didn't do that, and she didn't do that, and you get with the rebound because, hey, they do this. They do that. Hey, my ex didn't do that. And then you traded one sack of problems for another sack of problems. You've invested all that time in one relationship, you threw it away, and then you get into another one. And I don't know what the statistics are for people that get back together after breakups, but, you know, it's detrimental to get into another relationship when what got you just biting at that bait was something negative. If anything, you should have had one last conversation with him, or a couple of conversations. You should have seen if it would work, if he was going to comply, if he was going to give you what you needed. Then you break it off, find your place of happiness. Then you go for somebody that's going to make you feel happy. Because you see here, the dude that made you feel so great, because he lost his job, he don't want you no more. How important were you to him? He's showing you that his job is more important than you. And you almost might expect that since this was his career and he's just getting to know you. You know, he had sex with you on the side with his business, you know, you were his business partner's girl. I mean, you see what I'm saying here? Like, look, what you're gonna have to do, you gotta pick up the pieces. Now, if your man is willing, if I were you, I would ask to meet with him. And I would beg him to come back. Okay, I would beg and just tell him how you felt, what you were thinking, what do you gotta do to make it right, all that shit. But if you don't feel that it's worth it, if you don't feel it's worth rekindling, if you can get what you need from him, okay? If you can get what you need from him, will it make you happy? If it does not, if you don't feel it's going to be worth it, then you need to find your happy place. You need to pick up the pieces. You need to re-sculpt yourself and your self-esteem. We all make mistakes. Okay? You need to learn from this very big mistake. You need to learn from it. And you need to turn about face and move forward and make sure you don't make the mistake again. Make sure that you're totally communicating and totally clear with the next man that you are with. And maybe this one didn't work out for a reason. Maybe it was a stepping stone. Maybe it was a learning, I can't think of the word, learning experience that is going to only help you find the man you really need to be with. Do you understand? Sometimes, you know, there's that saying, you know, you'll find out why one day someone will one day you'll meet someone that will make you understand why all the other relationships didn't work out. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes relationships really are stepping stones to something better. All right? So right now you have to decide, what do you want? Do you want your relationship back with him? Do you want to work on it? Okay? I do everything in the book. I call all the family members that he told, tell your story, apologize, call everybody who wanted to call his mama, call his daddy, show up at the house, show up at everybody's house, post your shit on Facebook how you're sorry, whatever it is to let him know that you are truly sorry for what you did. And after you have done everything that your heart can think of, if he still does not want you back, so be it. Learn from it, okay? And move forward. Take care of yourself, okay? become complete in your own character, okay? A lot of times people look for things in a person that they are insecure about. So if they don't feel pretty, or they don't feel, cherished, or, things like that, sometimes they are looking in the mirror and they need someone to tell them that they look pretty. Why don't you look in the mirror and tell yourself that you are pretty? That's an insecurity you're looking to fill and looking to cover. You need a man telling you that you're pretty. I'm not saying this is you, I'm giving an example. The same thing with a person that doesn't feel, cherished, or, things like that. Sometimes they just don't have that complete feeling. Sometimes couples will argue. One will say, well, I do this for you. One will say, I do this for you. And both are feeling like they don't get gratitude when they both are doing a whole lot in the relationship. But because of these insecurities, both sides are not completing, they're not filling that hole that they each have. You got what I'm saying? So, like, the woman could feel unpretty and the man may not feel needed. So the woman may say stuff like this all the time: I don't need you. And the man may never compliment the girl. All right? So they both have these holes. He don't feel like he's needed as a man, and the woman don't feel pretty because he never compliments her. So guess what? In a relationship like that, and they're both doing everything else for each other, money, dinners, presents, poetry, whatever it is, we've been together all this time, you done met my family loves you, your family loves me, all this shit. But one don't feel pretty and one don't feel needed. That's the sore thumb that sticks out in their brains. That's the problem. And it overshadows everything. And both of them will cheat with somebody that's a lower level version of their mate just because that one thing overshadowed it. And it's not fucking worth it, and that's what you did. I can almost guarantee you that the man that you cheated on your man with is half the man that your man is, or he cannot fulfill you the way your man could if he was giving you that one thing. I guarantee it. I bet you. So that's all I got to say. I want you to take care of yourself, but I also want you to try to get it back if you can, because it sounds like he was a good man. If he found out he didn't give a fuck, then yeah, he didn't care about you. He was only focused on his career, and he'd be like, fuck it, shit, I'll get another one. Nah, you hurt him to his core. And it's going to take a lot of healing. EFT, TFT, Gary Craig, Roger Callahan, look it up. It works wonders, I guarantee you, okay? 1 million subscribers.